Member.
The Honourable Annette King.
Mr Speaker, the final veil of John Key and Bill English's budget dance will be lifted tomorrow. And according to Bill English, all will be revealed. Everything will be laid bare. It'll be there for the whole country to see. And for weeks now, Mr Speaker, we have had the teasing, we've had the blame shifting, we've had the softening up by the National Party to expect a zero budget that's been forced upon them by the global financial crisis, by 2 earthquakes, by floods and droughts and biosecurity, and borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. And John Key has told some New Zealanders that they're going to have to tighten their belts a few more notches. They have been told that they're going to have to pay off the $16 billion deficit mountain that we now have. A mountain that's all been clocked up in 2.5 years of a national government. Clocked up, having been left with a historic low by the last Labor government. Having been left, unlike the comments from the previous speaker, with books in a good shape, in such a good shape, Bill English said the previous government had put away for the rainy day. So we have got a deficit clocked up by John Key and Bill English because they decided to borrow $2.3 billion a year for tax cuts that we couldn't afford. Tax cuts that have gone to those who already have the most. So $350 a week in a tax cut has gone to somebody on $393,000 a year. And $28 a week tax cut went to somebody who's getting $48,000 a year. And when were these tax cuts given? They were given after the global financial crisis hit this country. Recklessly given by the previous government, having now told us that everyone has to pull in their belts because of the global financial crisis. They ignored it and gave out tax cuts that we could not afford. They gave out tax cuts we couldn't afford when unemployment was growing at an alarming rate. Month after month after month, unemployment figures were going up. And we're now told by many commentators that the so-called tax switch is a failure and has failed thousands of New Zealanders. They clocked up a deficit because they didn't have any sort of plan to address our current or future economical social problems. And it was clocked up by a government that thinks short. Everything they do is thinking short, and I have to say, Mr Speaker, they're selling this country short. But tomorrow is Judgment Day on this government's budget. And if there are going to be a few questions that will be asked by hard-working New Zealanders, they will ask this: will this budget set out a coherent, long-term strategy to fundamentally change the economy of this country and to give hope back to Kiwis that they will have a future, one that they own themselves? Will this budget be bold? Will it really make the tough but fair decisions that will see all people pay their fair share, but they also will get their fair share? And there must have been many New Zealanders who woke up today, looked at the front page of the Dominion Post and thought, how can it be fair that I am paying so much tax and there are people out there paying so little? Will this budget, they will ask, promote innovation? Will it use R&D to diversify our businesses, to lift our exports, to ensure that we create more wealth? Will it reduce unemployment? And will it give those over 60,000 young Kiwis a chance to get a job in this country? Or will there be more platitudes about how they are our future? But what future will they get out of this budget? Will there be an opportunity for them to train, to get skills training, apprentices? Will there be an opportunity for them to get a decent income, for them to stay here in New Zealand? Will it encourage savings, Mr Speaker, No, I think we're going to see a budget that of lost opportunities, backwards, forwards, decision-making, more tinkering, more dithering from this government.